Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another lockdown lesson session. This week we're running through the theme of playfulness or playing through the theme of playfulness. And so far this week we've done a couple of lessons. Yesterday's on the eyes and the tongue movement. And what I want to do today is kind of go a little backwards, take a step back from the kind of more active lessons and provide a good base for play. So it's going to be quite playful in the way that we're imagining the lesson, but the purpose of the lesson is really to find a stable base in ourselves. And that stable base being the place that we can kind of head off into the world in a playful way from. So the start of the lesson is obviously, or the whole of the lesson is going to be in sitting, but we're just going to be looking at ways that we're engaging in the act of sitting and hopefully kind of coming up with a different sense of what sitting feels like by the end of it. And I think that you can apply this outside the realm of sitting as well. So that this isn't just about finding a stable base in sitting. This is about finding a stable base in your general day-to-day life. And from that stable base, feeling more able and capable to do the things that you want. Great. So what I'd like you to do initially is just to kind of come to a comfortable sitting position on the chair. And as you sit on the chair, maybe you can just kind of come a little forwards to the front edge of the chair. And coming to the front edge of the chair kind of gives you a little bit more mobility. So sit for a moment on the front edge of the chair and just kind of feel how that feels to you. Do you feel any sense in yourself of stability? Or is there a little uncertainty in the position? What do you feel? And then what I'd like you to do is bring your attention to how your feet are resting on the floor. So you've got, in the sitting position, you've got the 2 feet as a kind of a base of support for yourself. And we're going to explore the rest of your base of support as we go through the lesson. But feel for yourself how your 2 feet are resting on the floor. As you've got your 2 feet, I don't know if you've got your shoes on or if you've got your socks on or if you're barefoot, but just feel how your feet are in contact with the ground. What do you notice about the way that your feet are in contact? Do you maybe notice certain or an increase in pressure or a larger amount of pressure on a certain edge of a certain foot? Do you feel more weight on the outside of the left edge of the left foot, for example? Or is there a kind of sense of the weight being more back in the feet, so that there's less weight in sitting in the toes and more weight in the heels? What is it? What do you notice about how your weight is distributed on your feet? And feel for yourself, as you've got your feet resting on the floor, what sense of support or what sense of stability do the feet offer to the rest of your body? Just by having your feet in contact with the floor? If you were to, for example, just bring your body weight slightly forwards, when maybe you would feel an increase in pressure or increase in weight in the feet. So just try that. Bring the body weight slightly forwards and feel, how does the relationship between the feet and the floor change? And if you were to bring your body weight a little backwards, taking your body weight a little backwards, so that you're kind of heading towards the back of the chair, how do you feel the relationship between the feet and the floor when you make that movement? Is there a sense of lightening of pressure? Good. And then try the same thing, but go a little to the left. Take your body weight a little to the left, feeling how the feet respond. What do you notice about the contacts that the feet have as you move to the left? Do you feel an increase in pressure on your left foot? And take your body weight a little to the right and feel the same thing. So for those of you just joining, what we're doing in this lesson is just exploring how we're receiving support. And we're initially looking at that in relation to the feet and their contact with the floor. Good. So as you've moved around, and yesterday we did circles, and the day before we also did circles. We did this interlacing of the hands and the movement of the pelvis. If you were just to move your pelvis in a very small circle, kind of disturbing your sense of balance in some way, coming off center, can you feel that same relationship down with the feet and the sense of pressure of the feet on the floor? How do the feet respond as you move your pelvis in different directions? And that's not what we're doing in this lesson, but just to kind of give you that sense that the relationship between our body weight and the way that we're in contact with the ground is dynamic. Good. And now in the sitting position, one of the other things that we are gaining support from is the chair. And this lesson is called a six-legged animal, because we want to integrate in some way the sense of the support of the chair. So what I'd like you to do is, just as you've got your attention resting down on how your feet are in contact, I'd like you to think about the other four legs of the chair. And see if you can kind of in some way, with your eyes closed and no kind of movement instruction, just get some sense that the four legs of the chair are part of your experience. And take a moment to kind of like locate them. Can you locate where the two back legs of the chairs are? And if you were to bring your body weight slightly backwards, take your body weight slightly backwards. I just got a notification that I'm having trouble streaming this to Facebook. Okay. And as you take your weight a little backwards, can you feel that there's an increase in pressure down into the two back legs of the chair? And then as you bring your weight forwards, can you feel that there's kind of a removal of the weight on the two back legs of the chair and more weight coming down into your two legs? And then just go between those two. Explore bringing the weight a little backwards, feeling the sense of weight pouring down the two back legs of the chair, and then bringing the weight a little forwards and feeling the weight come away from the two back legs of the chair into your legs. Let's say they're all your legs for this exercise, but just as you move your body weight, can you feel that you're pouring the weight into your feet, and then you're pouring the weight into the 2 feet of the two back legs of the chair? Good. Take a little rest in the middle. And what's your sense of being in the middle now? Once you've now that you've explored bringing the weight into your feet, bringing the weight into the two back legs of the chair, what's your sense of middle? like? Great. Okay, so then the other two legs of the chair are also important. They also play a role. So what I'd like you to do is move your weight between the two back legs of the chair and the two front legs of the chair. See if you can move your weight so that you don't move it so far forward that it pours into your own feet. See if you can keep it between the two back legs of the chair and the two front legs of the chair. And imagine that you're kind of like pouring weight back as you move backwards into the two back legs, and you're pouring weight forwards as you move forwards into the two front legs of the chair. And notice as you move backwards and forwards, is it a precise straight line between the two? Is there an equivalent amount of weight on the right back leg and the left back leg? Or the right front leg and the left front leg? Or do you kind of veer off in different places as you move backwards? Do you head more towards the left back or the right front? What is it for you? Good. Take a little rest. And now just kind of with your imagination, see if you can tune in a way to these 6 legs so that you feel all 6 of them. Your 2 legs, the 2 front legs of the chair or wheel. Thank you, Louise. Yeah, I did actually think about this as I was planning the lesson. I think that it works equally well with a wheel. So thanks for bringing that up. I think the dynamic's a little different because the circular shape of the wheel kind of pours down into one spot precisely, but I think you can take your weight back. I mean, maybe it's more like a pelvic clock then, but you can explore it. Good. And then what I'd like you to do is, like, with that idea in mind, whether it's the 2 back legs of the chair and your legs, or your legs and the wheel of your wheelchair, either one, if you just keep that idea in your mind and then see if you can take your body weight over to the left and feel you pouring your weight over into the left side of the 6-legged structure. And then come back to the middle and just do it a few times and notice as you pour your weight over, can you head in a specific direction? Can you head with your weight to the left, to the back left leg, and then bring it back to the middle? And then can you head with your weight to the middle left leg and bring it back to the middle? And then can you head with your weight to your leg, the front left leg, and then back to the middle? And just explore that a few times, kind of go through that. It's like where you're taking your weight and where you're finding support as you take your weight in that direction. And see if you can really kind of like be as one piece with the object that you're sitting on. So it's there as a form of support for you, or you're using it for support. Good. And then come back to the middle and then begin to go over to the right side. So maybe we'll start with the opposite one. Come forwards to the right side so that you go down, in pouring the weight down into your own right leg. Coming back, taking it over to the right front leg of the chair. Coming back and taking it over to the back leg of the chair. And just begin to explore those different directions and feel kind of like, how does it feel as you take your weight? And can you in some way rely on the structure of the leg, the structure of the chair to provide you safety? Do it a few more times on the right side, just to kind of like feel into it. How does changing my weight help or does it change? Good. And then come back to the middle. So what I'd like you to do now is lift your own left leg. Lift your own left leg. And notice, where does the weight pour down into as you lift your leg? And you don't need to lift it a lot. You can lift it a very small amount off the floor. As you lift your left leg, can you feel that the weight pours down in a different way into the chair? What direction do you feel? What leg of the chair is taking more of your weight as you lift your left leg? Good. Bring your left leg back down to the floor. And try the same thing with your right leg. Lift your right foot off the floor and feel, where does your weight go? Which leg of the chair are you pouring more weight down into? Or even, do you feel more weight down in your non-lifted leg? For me, as I lift my right leg, my weight pours down into the back left leg of the chair. Good. Take a little rest. See if you can, after taking a short rest, see if you can lift both legs away from the floor. Both of your legs away from the floor. We're not going to get in this lesson into how you lift the legs of your chair or your wheelchair away from the floor. That's a bit more complicated. But see if you can lift your own legs, just a small amount. Even if you're doing that in your imagination, lifting your legs and noticing, don't focus on the legs, focus on where you're getting support in that movement. Where does the weight travel to? Where on the chair do you feel more weight going into? Good. And then rest your legs. Bring your feet back down to the ground. And just with your eyes closed, see if you can kind of, again, tune into this idea that you've got 6 legs. Or 2 legs and 2 wheels. And that's part of your experience. That's part of you in this moment. And notice how you feel settled into that structure. With the support of the 2 back legs of the chair, the 2 front legs of the chair, and your own 2 legs. What sense of safety, what sense of support does that give you? What's your breathing like now? Or the softness in your abdomen? Good. Very gently, just begin to move through the different directions. Take your weight to the left back leg of the chair and then come back to the middle. Take your weight to the front, into your own right leg, so that the weight pours down into your own right leg, and explore those diagonals. The back left leg of the chair and the front right leg. Great. Glad to hear that, Louise. Good. Come back to the middle. Begin to take your weight over to your own left leg, pouring the weight down into your own left leg, and then come back to the middle, and then explore over towards the back right leg of the chair. And see if you can create a line in between those two things. The front left leg of the chair, your front left leg, and the back right leg of the chair. And just feel that you're moving your body to kind of like bring the weight down into those places. You're organizing yourself so that the weight of the body is kind of like pouring over into that leg. Good. And then come to the middle, and then begin to very gently, very slowly, begin to explore from the front left leg of the chair to the front right leg of the chair. So now you're making a kind of lateral line. From one side of the front of the chair to the other side of the front of the chair. And notice how you move your body to do that. Notice, do you keep breathing? And how do your two front legs and the two back legs of the chair kind of respond or change as you're moving your weight from the front left leg of the chair to the front right leg of the chair? Come back to the middle. Feel how your two legs are resting on the floor. Feel the contact of the feet with the floor. Is there a different sense of your relationship with the ground now, with your feet? And check in with the chair as well. Check in with the two back legs of the chair, the two front legs of the chair. Are you getting equal support from that whole structure? The back legs of the chair, the front legs of the chair, and your two front legs. Can you feel an equal sense of support or kind of lifting up from that whole structure? Good. Notice your breathing. Any softness in your abdomen or your throat or your face. And feel how the stability or the safety of this kind of like real exploration of support aids or lends itself to you feeling a little bit more open to exploring. Like as we relax, we kind of soften in some way, and that softness being important for the next outwards movement that we make. So I've heard the description before that life is a series of these kind of two reactions. And there's this kind of like, as you go out and you meet things that are unfamiliar to you, or you have experiences that are unfamiliar or difficult, we react to it. And then when we come back to safety, we come back to this sense of support, we can relax again. And that leads itself to us being able then again to go out and meet the world in a new way again, rather than a kind of build up of tension through the kind of the life events we experience. So this kind of exercise, while it isn't the most glamorous, perhaps it really leads itself to playfulness in general. So I'd be interested in hearing your experiences with it. And yeah, if you want to drop a message down to let me know how you feel afterwards, or just any thoughts that occurred to you. Again, the series of these 5 lessons this week on the subject of play and playfulness And this is kind of directly tied in with my Summit, Feldenkrais Awareness Summit talk that is going to be releasing on the 3rd of May. There's a link in the description of this post. There's also a link to my Facebook community group where you can rewatch the lesson, although today's lesson looks like it didn't go to the group. And you can watch that also on my YouTube channel. There's also a link to my PayPal account if you'd like to make a small donation for the lessons. So thank you all for watching. As I said, I'd really love to hear from you. If you feel any thoughts occurring to you after that lesson, or you want to ask me something, please get in touch. It's great to hear from everyone. And if you're watching a replay of this, don't be afraid to just drop a comment and say where you're watching from, what your name is. Yeah, it'd be great to hear from you. So thank you all. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's lesson I have affectionately named the shoulder shimmy. And I was talking to a friend of mine last week about it. And I think that it's quite a fun lesson as well. So I hope to see you guys then. That will be 11 o'clock UK time. Yeah, have a good day. I'll see you then. Take care. Bye.